captain is. Now he knows we are good to go. Cucine Lube Civitanova with the serve. Allianz Milano receiving for this all-important playoff decider. The winner goes through to the final and a chance to win the Scudetto. Easy start, that for Milano. Yeah, not quite finding his range.
It's the first action of the decisive game, trying to get into rhythm early. And we see Patry with the chance to return fire.
Well, he's into rhythm early. Balasso, though, decent ball under the circumstances. The taxi. And then Zaitsev swipes it away for a huge roar from the fans. Easily dealing with that. Jump float from Anzani. Going after Hernandez, so trying to make it difficult for the front court swing. Oh, that's a good touch, but it's going to be into the crowd. Nice work, Patrice, in the flow early.
Yeah, it's important for him to get a good start, to take the pressure off his outside hitters and also through the middle. He hasn't been the most dominant player in the last few games, but he's a very crucial part of the offense for Milano.
As is this man, Hernandez, or Melgarejo as he has on his shirt, his first name. That's a good touch. That is DeCecco all over.
And it's the half chance. Shinnyezi taking advantage.
Now Zaitsev getting ready to go with his jump serve. He had a few issues in the last match with his toss and then struggling to do something with the ball. Nothing wrong with that though. Ace serve for Zaitsev.
He's one of those players who can just be fueled by emotion, and this is a game which will have no shortage of that. So cometh the moment, cometh the man. Let's see what Ivan can bring tonight.
Not a bad start. 2 points for him so far. Oh, there's a chance here for an early break point. In transition, oh, they'll get it as well. Everybody looking at everybody else and no one taking the ball. Patry was expecting Porro to play it. That didn't happen. Zaitsev gets to go on his third serve now. Just overcut it.
Had a good positive start on the service line for Zaitsev. Also, that he can keep the ball in a position where their block can start to execute some tactics.
Piano's got his own unique way of his pre-serve routine, that one. Good ball in from Zaitsev. Good cover, Balasso. Ishikawa knew where that was going, but there's a better chance now for Lube. And that time, Nikolov hammers it. He's struggled a little bit in this series to actually find the cross court, bounce the ball over the sideline. And you can see the way that Milano are lining up. They know where he likes to go. They just couldn't stop this one.
Absolutely. It's the pressure that comes of being the outside receiver playing when the opposite is back row. You're more likely to see a double block.
Good mismatch for him, though. He had Porro to go past. That's not coming back. Great serve for Nikolov, another youngster as well. There's such talented players on both sides of the court. Jan's 21 and Nikolov just 20. And timeout called by Milano, unsurprisingly. 3 points down already.
And as you mentioned earlier, Porro is a phenomenal young talent. His feel for the game, his technical ability, he's already in the discussion to be in the top handful of setters in the world at such a young age.
That's incredible, isn't it? And he's done so much as well at a young age. He's an under-19 world champion, under-21 world champion, under-22 European champion, under-20 European silver medalist, and under-18 European bronze medalist. And that's incredible.
And from a guy that, if you walk past him on the street, you would probably not think that's a professional volleyball player. He's not big in stature, but he similar to DeCecco, it's not about how big you are, it's about how well you can play.
He certainly does that. He's a player as well. He's definitely cool and calm. I saw him smile once so far this series because he got a one-on-one block, I think, against Zaitsev, and he actually we had a little smile appear. Easy one that for Losser. Lasso's made a good dig. Still not the easiest of situations, and now there might be a better situational swing chance here for Lube. And they've taken it as well. Great work by Nikolov.
You can see Milano, they're really trying to manage their way through the point. They never had any really good chances to play. Ishikawa putting the ball in a difficult situation, but just a high ball, a nice strong attack from Nikolov.
So far, so good for the home team. Nikolov goes back to the serving line once again. Well left by Ishikawa. One of the things as well, for those of you that have been watching this series, you will have noticed, and those of you that haven't, and I'm going to tell you, we've seen a few seesaw sets as well, where one team got off, I think, 6-1, 7-1 at one point, and suddenly raced away. But by the end of the set, it was a 25-23, the other team coming back. So the big leads don't always mean that there'll be a big advantage all the way to the end. That's going to be a point for Lube. No, it's not. He's giving it actually to, I don't know, my left and my right. He's pointing at Milano. Oh, Porro with the serve. Has that caught any hands? No. And no challenge coming. So first unforced error from Marlon Jan. And just like that, Milano are back to within one.
Yes, you hit the nail on the head there. There's been a lot of runs on service, or teams being able to find one rotation that's really working for them. And then the counter move coming later in the set.
Porro's in nice and early, and Losser makes sure of that one. No chance for Balasso, and just like that, we're on level terms. Everyone's feeling good about themselves for Milano.
So Losser making the most of the small adjustments in angle and his approach, just the small jump away from the setter to create room for the angle going back. And great tempo, great location from Porro on that set.
Porro it is with the serve. He's got a great jump serve on him. He can mix it up, making Shinonese have to play that. So that's taking the middles out of the game. And that's still going. Sensible stuff from Ishikawa. And it's an error from Zaitsev. Goodness me. Milano now in front.
And you can see already, as it has been in this series, it's the difference in philosophies between the two teams. Milano trying to manage a few more situations. Civitanova happy to be big and physical and try to play strong power volleyball. And in this case, Milano was patient enough for Civitanova to find an error.
Timeout called by Blengini. I didn't ask you, so I'm going to ask you now because I can. Who have you got down for the win for this one?
Oh, I would say very, very close, but the big names on the Perugia side are probably there in the big moments, but if you can get Ishikawa and Patry going,
well,
it's going to be close.
It would be, except Perugia have already been knocked out by Milano, so you're going with Civitanova then. Excellent.
Yes.
Good man. Well, I'm going with Milano. I'm sorry. They have been playing amazing. They've really had this gut. It's been a gutsy performance from them at times, and they've shown they can already win here. They've done it once. I reckon they could do it again, but let's see. Timeout does its job. Now this has been a problem rotation for Milano. Their rotation one. They've gone classic with Ishikawa in front of Porro, and then they've mixed it up, which they're going classic again now, and it's probably the classic is the one that served them best. And it works because they can get Losser away. They have had it with Patry trying to run around the outside, and then with Ishikawa trying to come in and get out to force. They can get all three in the right spot. But that one has done its job.
Sometimes simplicity and avoiding confusion for the players, being in a situation you're used to, is the best way to get out of those moments.
Ishikawa yet to get going.
We've seen that he's had some physical challenges during this series. He has, and also in the quarterfinal series. But his technical level and his thought process through the game is what makes him such a great player.
Oh, that's a great block from Jan. A little bit tricky that for Patry. He seemed to get under the ball a little bit.
Yeah, particularly the first ball, he had to come back to play it. When you lose sight of the block as a hitter in that situation, you're not looking at what's in front of you, you're still trying to track the ball. You go to your safe shot in the middle of the court, and Jan was there to stop it.
Balassa's made a good touch. And that's what you were talking about, a chance to have a swing, and they're going to take it, aren't they?
Absolutely. This is the situation that Marlon Jan really loves. He can just be powerful off the top of the block. But we're also seeing that Milano is not taking the opportunity to put a triple block up. They're going to challenge Jan to try and play the short angle.
And his Cuban counterpart gets the job done. Can't wait to. I must say, just a sidebar, I cannot wait to see Cuba play in the VNL. And I've probably said it too many times already for those of you that have followed this, but looking at the players that we've seen in the Italian league, that we've seen playing, goodness me, they have got, again, it's a classic mix of some really, really good hitters and blockers. It's a question of whether or not the setter's going to be able to find them all and really cause some damage. Oh, Piano causes some damage with that block.
Yes, you said in the intro that Piano is not a guy who we can expect to score a lot of points, but he's maybe the quiet man by name and by nature, but he has an impact.
He certainly does. His serves is good. He makes some great defense, and he's always there or thereabouts at the net making blocks. Tricky one, that, for Zaitsev. Oh, just a little bit too far away. Good work by Ivan Zaitsev.
And this has been the juggling act for Blengini. How do they get the most out of their reception? Needing to use Zaitsev as a receiver. He has played as a receiver early in his career, but always an opposite. And needing to be called into action.
It's been an interesting sort of season for both him and Garcia, because when he joined and he signed Zaitsev, he was injured, wasn't he? So Garcia had to play, and he'd just come from Brigham Young Uni last season, and he's straight into playing. He's probably thinking, oh, I'll get to learn a little bit. Yes, you'll get to learn how to play. And then Zaitsev then was struggling to find a place on the court once he was fit, but he's worked his way back in and has definitely now earned his spot. Oh, that's not going to make it. Great work. Lube, again, just taking advantage. It's going point for point now. Nothing Pesaresi could do about that. Big hit, as we might expect. That was one of the issues that Milano had in the last match in Milan. For those of you that didn't see that game, they suddenly, Lube changed to nearly everyone was jump floating, and Milan really struggled with it, with that particular serve. Hernandez particularly wasn't enjoying that, but he gets a good side out off of that last play. A bit of trouble here for Lube to get themselves out of, which they do. What a set from DeCecco.
He makes it look so easy to Checo, and Zaitsev looking like he's wound back the clock a little bit. Maybe the break at the start of the season helped him get in a bit better condition, and having Gabby Sanchez there to take some pressure off, has prolonged his health longer in the season.
Oh, nice cover. And that's not worked for Ishikawa, a little bit too close to the antenna. Civitanova edging in front, and now Zaitsev back to the serving line as he was, so maybe we'll build this one up again. Ooh, trouble, good save. But free ball now for Civitanova, 4 attacking options.
High. If the opposite middle blocker, so you can see it's Piano, if he's not fully committed and already in the air, there is zero chance that he's going to stop that. The results, Zaitsev back to serve.
For a timeout score. Bit of work to do now for Milano. He's always very vocal, Roberto Piazza, that's for sure.
His passion for the game and for his team and how they play, and his demand that they play with their full emotion and attention is one of the trademarks of his coaching style, but always gets results.
L'applauso del Forum, squadra in campo. Andare.
There's certainly no room at all for either of these teams to once they get the lead, to feel, oh yeah, we're good now, because it's such a close game, isn't it? We've seen it even in this set. The lead's gone from one side to the other, and then it's point to point. Now we've got a little bit of a gap here, which is where Lube will look to try and increase if they can. Oh, that's a good ball, Pesarese. Look at that, brilliant. And Piano gets a rare swing, but he'll take it.
Yeah, some good game management here by Porro. He went to Patry early, now he's getting the middles involved. You've mentioned that Ishikawa is not necessarily on fire, but they can work him into the game using all his options at his availability, as is Milano bringing in Vitelli to serve.
Yes, he's a middle blocker. Not often you see that, middle blockers coming in specifically to serve, but he's got a good serve on him when he gets it going. Well, he's unlucky with that. Actually played for Lube back in 2015, was a Champions League bronze medalist, Vitelli. Oh, that's more like it, Ishikawa. Balasso did well to get his hands in the way of that.
Yes, and these rotations, these next two rotations are probably the ones where Milano needs to capitalise. With Zaitsev and Nicola back row for Civitanova, they've probably got the block that they want. They've got Ishikawa front.
That's not a bad serve as well. This is going to be a down ball at best. Oh, maybe it's just going to be a brilliant block out.
Roland Jan did not give up on that play whatsoever. And you could see that the Milano players probably thought similar to you, Clayton. This is just going to be an easy play. It's not a full jump. There's some half jumps in the block.
Exactly. There was no commitment at all, was there? It was neither one thing nor the other, and that played right into Jan's hands. Now, Garcia on to serve. See if they can just give themselves a little bit more of a lead here. Well, this is incredible, isn't it? So they went classic, rotation one, sided out, no trouble at all, lost Erin. That one, they were doing all the shenanigans again. Patrick trying to get over from the left side, Ishikawa trying to get around me. They were lucky the ball's gone in the net. Well, I'm not the expert. If you've sided out once and it was fine on that rotation, was it because it was the jump serve and not the float serve? Who knows? What we do know is that one hasn't made it in.
Ishikawa just taking a bit of time to get into the flow of the game. But even without him at full power, still within touch for Milano.
A side out and someone goes big from the serving line. They're right back in it. Just a tad too high for Melgarejo. But the block comes good. Now that's a proper 3 block.
So that's a situation where you really need to force Zaitsev to take the risk off the top. He probably isn't going to hit too many sharp diagonal balls. So the recycle from Melgarejo, forcing high ball play for Civitanova. And now they get their chance again from the service line with Loser to make it a 1-point game.
Good ball. Ooh. Oh, good up! That is some play. That's not going to come back. What a pickup from Porro with that pancake.
This is the game awareness. He saw that the space was there. The set wasn't perfect for Civitanova to attack in rhythm. And that's the small opportunities you need to take in a game 5.
That means Loser goes back to the serving line, looking to get his side level now. Cool. That was a good pass. And Yount's done it again, just working the block, calming things down.
And you can see the tactic there, try and get Zaitsev on the floor or out of system, and then let the block release early, but not early enough to be well formed, and let Yount exploit the situation.
Chance here of sorts. Ooh, someone's got to play it. Good at Balasso. Ooh, Nikolov's not made it. He's not made it. They can have a look at block touch challenge.
Milano coming up with some really gutsy defensive plays here in these last couple of points. And you can see again their philosophy of trying to be a bit more patient. If it's not a good situation, they can play. Almost like the defensive boxing style. We'll let Civitanova throw big, heavy punches. And eventually they'll start to get tired or the errors will accumulate.
He knew there was no time. This is more of a little bit of a kind of a timeout delay tactic, isn't it, you feel?
Yeah, this particularly at this point in the game, it's worth taking the chance. Neither team had used the challenge yet. So get a little break, maybe gives you a chance to talk about something, but also take a breather.
That would be a good time for Patry to do something from the serving line. Oh, such a good ball.
And exploiting the block of Porro there. There was a question in my mind, do they try and switch Porro out to position 4 and have a different blocking matchup? Because Nikolov is high and strong. But it's good to see that they're trusting Porro to get enough of a good defensive play.
Bottolo on to serve. It's a great serve. Free ball for Civitanova. Oh, well played, Pesaresi. Great cover from Piano. And Milano scrap the point.
Scrap is the word. But the patience just, we'll take a chance to recycle and play again and get Patry a good swing. Just stretching the block enough. And we see the coaching game, another service substitution. Bonacci on from El Horejo. And Nikolov standing out in reception.
Great pass. That's what you want, isn't it? I mean, Balasso has been exceptional throughout this season, throughout these playoffs, but that ball is just peachy.
Absolutely. Great delivery. There's a reason why he's played at such a high level for such a long time. But particularly when you're in a reception lineup with Zaitsev next to you, who's not a known receiver, that he's having to take a big part of the court, and they still can't get pressure in too many rotations on his serve.
Always going to be sided out, isn't it? You feel when the pace is taken out of the ball like that and you're pretty much putting in, it's a free ball situation. But somebody's still got to do something from Milano here. Right now, Civitanova siding out well, and that will be good enough. They could side their way out to the set. Oh dear, well that's unlike piano. D'Amico has been in and out. He does that. He's a libero normally, but been coming in and playing as a passer, passer defender. Lovely. Not seen many of the pipe attacks from Milano. I think that might be the first, actually.
Yeah, it's normally an area where they like to use Ishikawa, but he's not quite into the game yet, so it hasn't been a feature. But again, we're in this situation where with the Checo front row, Nikolov and Zaitsev back row for Civitanova, that Milano can really try and score some points, and it's probably the best situation they would have inside out. And using the second libero as a reception substitute, particularly at this point in the season, you know that you gamble a little bit that nothing will happen to your libero in terms of an injury or something, but it gives you the best chance to put a really strong receiving lineup on the court, particularly when they've been shuffling receivers a lot.
Yeah, it kind of seems almost if you'll give up an extra back attack. So Jan on the pipe, we'll give that up because actually we want to side out or we want to play some defense, and we've got good options around the court anyway. We'll get a good ball in. Don't really need to run the pipe potentially.
Yeah, the ability to have first tempo as a threat is probably more valuable in these close moments.
This is going to be a close moment. Oh, that is Ishikawa at his absolute Ishi best.
And we saw again the difficulties of reception for Civitanova with their lineup. Actually ended up with the Checo blocking in the middle, I think. And Ishikawa sniffs that one out pretty quickly. And it's 23 apiece.
It really is anything. It could go any way now. Oh, that's such a good leave. That was so close. Look at that reaction from Blencini. He knows it. Set point, Civitanova.
And Milano basically going with two receivers here.
Well played, Losser. It's great. We're going past the 25-point mark.
Nothing less than what we expected.
A real test now of will. Is Ishikawa going to come good here? His serving has been non-existent so far. Oh, that's not bad. There's a swing chance. Ishikawa! Oh, he's not done it! Nikolov has done it. They get their side out. That was a chance for Milano. A chance to have set point themselves.
There's a great serve by Ishikawa, forcing Civitanova out of system. Had his opportunity on the pipe. But, wow, this is what this series has been all about.
Set point number 2. And they've got a really good chance. 4 players already, all moving. Good up, Porro. Brilliant play. What a save. What a way to save set point.
You've nailed it again, Clayton. Porro, his ability to see what's coming and make a ball that they can do something with. And then a really nice delivery on the high ball set.
And Pesaresi as well. He's not only has he dug that, he's had the presence of mind to dive out of the way. Oh, just absolutely brilliant. But it's still advantage Lube. They side out. They'll have a 3rd set point chance if they side out. Losser. Easy one that for Zaitsev. Patry is no good. I thought that was going to be just a high ball for Hernandez, but it wasn't. Another opportunity wasted potentially there by Milano. We've got a challenge.
Yes. It's worth the risk, I think. Also, like you mentioned before, this could be a free timeout. Patry, normally a pretty good high ball hitter. He uses that role well in the French national team. And great to see Piano there, using his experience, talking to his guys, making sure everyone stays in the moment. With a big smile on his face as well.
They've just tried really here to slow Jan down because he's got a swing here for the set effectively. If he gets this one right, he'll be spiking this at Milano. It's a big serve. Hernandez to keep Milano in it. Not going to happen. The triple block works. Civitanova take the set 27-25 and they lead 1-0. What a game. What a start to this game.
Absolutely. Just backwards and forwards. The two contrasting styles of the teams and finding that way to have a big, as we see Blengini saying calm down. That's nice for him to lead by example. But it's great to see these contrasting styles and that Milano, even they haven't been great, but they're hanging in there. If they can get a little bit of momentum going, if Ishikawa can find some rhythm in attack, I think we're going to have another great set coming up.
It's just incredible, isn't it, how a player can suddenly, I don't know if he was even frozen out, really. You look at where Lube was serving, they were going after Hernandez where they could in the front row. They kind of stayed away from Ishikawa quite a bit. He passed hardly anything, did he?
Yeah, it's some players, they like to touch the ball a lot and they like to be involved in the game. So if you can keep them cold, to use a phrase. Also that he's by far a better receiver than Mehel Rejo. But it also showed up in their offense. Porro was not giving him so much of the ball. He obviously trusted him down the stretch in those last couple of points, but it's finding a way into the game for him. So Porro's had to manage the offense through that first set, a bit more first tempo, using Patry early. But the last ball there, they seem to be comfortable playing high balls, but not getting that last one close enough where they can really exploit the block and take the top of the hands there. There's just enough space on that high ball set off the net that the Civitanova block could be really well formed and have hands over the net.
Plenty of other matches going on at the moment in the Credem Banca Superliga. We've got the semi-final game we're seeing here. The other semi-final match is also happening at the same time. Valsa Group Modena taking it at home to Gasell's Blue Energy Piacenza. What a series that's been. And then we've got the 5th place group, match number 4. So Safety Perugia are up against Verona against Monza, and then Perugia are also playing. They're not playing Modena because Modena are playing in this one. But yeah, so many good games going on, and we're still no clear to know who's going to win the Scudetto yet. Who's going to win this Credem Banca Superliga?
If you'd said at the start of the season Perugia and Modena will be playing for 5th place, then most people would look at you like you're crazy. But Milano did a fantastic job in their quarterfinal. Civitanova, always a high-quality team. And we have that's a feast. There's too much good volleyball happening at the one time for fans to be keeping up with everything.
So we're not going to give you any of the scores. We're not going to tell you anything that's going on. What we're going to say is stick with us, stick with this one, and then once it's finished, you can go on to VVTV and you can go and choose which game you want to watch after that. Find out who's going to be joining one of these two teams in the final. So far then, advantage with the home side. Lube having taken that opening set, 27-25. Set 2 is about to get underway. And a bit of work to do maybe here for Milano. They don't want to get into must-win sets just yet. They want to try and take this one if they can. Losser with the serve. Again, cracking ball from Balasso, and that ball hammered away, as you would expect, through the middle.
It's the once you get to really high-level volleyball, perfect situation. First tempo becomes basically unstoppable unless the opposition middle goes full commit, and then you expose your outside hitters. So it's really on servers to find enough pressure to give the middles a chance.
Nicely done. Trentino against Piacenza in the other semi-final. It's been a similar story to this one, really. Just incredible performances by both teams. Well, that's good up from Patry. Advantage for Lube with this one, surely. And of course it is. As the Zaitsev, the heavily taped Zaitsev. I mean, that is at least 2 rolls of tape he's got on his hands, I'm convinced. But he does the job.
It's definitely one of his trademarks. It gives him a very hard hand, and using it to full effect.
Indeed, that is a dent in the floor when he hits that one. Goodness me. Nikolov to serve. Causing a few issues here for Milano. Good up, Zaitsev, well played. Nikolov steps in on the 10 ball. Zaitsev again. Oh, that's an absolutely perfect pass. And they'll take the point.
But once again, it's the Milano high ball. They're not being able to get that ball to the net where their outside hitters, and particularly Melhorejo, can really use what's in front of them. They're just trying to save balls, and then it's coming back with interest.
It won't actually be the end of the season either. For whichever team does not win this one, they won't be going on holiday. They'll be playing for 3rd place, because that is also a ticket into Europe next season. That's well played from Patry. He did well not to step over the 3-meter line. He did well not to end up in trouble at the net.
Yeah, great body control in a difficult situation there. It's the long ball set. And just lovely touch on the ball to find the space. The Milano service game hasn't really clicked yet. They're following the tactical elements, but haven't found any real power serving points.
It's great. You've got Zaitsev as an opposite, and you can see he's a big, powerful athlete. And you've got Patry, who's snake-like, but still delivers a ball that's as hard, if not harder at times, than what Zaitsev does.
Oh, he's really long, and he creates angles, and I think his timing on the ball is really good. So it's a different problem, a different player to someone like Zaitsev, who, as you said, he's a physical brute. But Patry has a fast arm and really nice hand control.
2-point lead then so far. Blangini's smiling, he's happy on the outside. Trying to be calm, trying to be cool, trying to keep that focus he needs to try and guide his team over the line here. Oh, well played. With the speed that the pipe attacks are coming in at now, Liam, and given the middle blockers being as big as they are, you're not seeing that run over the top of the middle block anymore. I was seeing it to the left or to the right of the middle.
It's more about creating space than timing. And the ability for the team to create good reception where there's some range for movement, where your setters can create space for their choice.
Nice ball. And that is the next level of volleyball, isn't it? That ball is high on the 3-meter line off of a really good serve, and yet Porro's gone to the middle as if he was at the net.
Yeah, you'll see on this angle here that he's almost setting it off his shoulder to get that ball in front of Losser. It's a really difficult set made to look quite easy.
Well played, Anzani. Incredible battles going on through the middle in this match. Anzani, Losser, Piano, Cinenesi.
Yeah, there's a real range of different styles. We can see, we talked about Piano already, Losser is similar to his countryman Soleil. Anzani is probably another stable middle. Cinenesi is a super athlete. You see some football skills on display there from Blencini.
Nice header, yeah.
And quickly to fix his hair afterwards. But,
yeah.
But yeah, there's different challenges with all the different permutations of middle matchups in this series. But again, the Milano service game isn't giving them any love.
It's been like that. Throughout this series, really, they just really struggled to get it and letting Civitanova off the hook time and time again. So they get a good play and then don't build on it. And now they've got to face Zaitsev's serve. And it's a great serve. Well up by Balasso. Easy one for Jan. Right now, Milan aren't letting Lube through. And still they can't find a solution. That's not landed in. Error from Jan. And Milano's hard work and perseverance pays off.
And for Milano, particularly out of system, this is what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to keep staying in points longer and longer and longer. And try and put the pressure back on Civitanova to score rather than giving up an error.
Good serve from Patry. Oh, you'll not beat DiCecco in a joust. Good up. Was a tad tight. Hernandez does well. Ishikawa, yes, magnificent. You just think, right, he's going to set. No, he's not. He's absolutely tonked it. Brilliant.
Everything in his body language said he was setting this ball. So this is his technical level. I think his ability to have a really good clean swing when facing away from the net effectively. But again, now we see that the Milano trying to get some breakpoint pressure happening, staying in points and getting the ball in a position to score.
Try a little too much with that, going after Jant.
I'm really enjoying Piano's attitude on the court. He's not letting the moment get away from him. Okay, we made a mistake. Let's get the next one. Great leadership on display.
Well left. And he's got all that experience, as you rightly said. Olympic Games silver medalist from 2016. Didn't get much higher than that, playing in an Olympic final. He
probably was hoping he'd be one step higher on the podium, but It's nothing to sneeze at, a silver medal in Olympic Games.
Certainly not. Zaitsev's got one as well on the other side in the same Italian team. In that incredible Olympic Games in Rio. Talking of Olympic medalists, Chinese, a gold medalist with his serve. Great improvisation from Ishikawa. Oh, there were 3 players near Jan, but there must have been a man. How did he find a way through that block? Oh my goodness, what a hit!
And I think this is the encapsulation of this game so far. Ishikawa, who's getting a bit more ball now, but finds solutions, finds a way to not lose the point. And then Jan just sees Porro in front of him.
He sees Porro below him.
Yes, correct.
Oh, that's not made it. Well, they're not making it easy for Ishikawa. And he's apologising for that error. Timeout called. Good lead here for Lube. 12-9.
Well, you can see Porro trying to get Ishikawa into the game. He's got a couple of balls in the last little segment. Melhorejo hasn't really found anything from the service line. He's really been trying to survive high balls in attack. So they need to find a way.
That's the tale.
Yep. Sorry.
No, carry on, please, after you.
It's the second phase of when you want to be patient and try and recycle and tip and keep the ball alive in difficult situations, that eventually the other team will find a rhythm. And at the moment, Civitanova is finding those balls and keeping their chances alive, and they have the firepower. They can terminate a lot more balls than Milano is doing.
And it's been great setting, hasn't it, by DeCecco as well, understanding where Porro, because they're trying to hide Porro around the net at times as well on Milano and take him out of the block or put him in the middle. And DeCecco's done really well to make sure that when he's been out there and can be used as a mismatch, he's made sure the ball's gone out to where Porro's at. Nice side out for Milano.
Yeah, it's not a complex strategy, but an effective one. Every team is looking for the weakest blocker, and Porro, for all of his skills, he's not a fantastic blocker.
Well, there's a net touch already, so that spike won't count. It would just be an error against Milano. But again, it's volleyball 101, isn't it? We'll put our biggest hitter, go over the top of the smallest blocker.
So the responsibility falls on Milano to be able to get a better serve and force that situation to be more difficult for Civitanova.
Which is what Milano have done, is when they've made it difficult, it allows Porro to step out, and then 2 big blockers will go up against Jant.
Absolutely. There's a few different solutions they can find. That's a pretty simple one, but it starts with the serve.
Well, that wasn't far away, but it is out. Now, which style of rotation one do we have? We got, okay, so Ishikawa's stepped over. Where you can see him at 6 for those who are watching, he'll swing out wide. He's the front court swing hitter in this rotation, is number 14. And Patry is going to then slide out to the right, Ishikawa to the left. Oh, goodness. That was a huge hole. Jan's thinking, oh, I shouldn't have been there. I should not have been there.
Well, and it's a great counter move from Ishikawa. You can see that Nikolov comes for the triple, then pulls, and Ishikawa knows exactly where the space is. Position 5, needing to be back for the long ball off the top of the block. Great situational awareness by Ishikawa.
Huge from Nikolov. Just gave it everything.
But in promising signs for Milano, a better serve from Ishikawa. They've got him some rhythm in attack, finding a way to get him back into the game.
It will be Anzani to serve. Oh, what a great touch from Nikolov. Too good. Really, really good volleyball from Lube. Four-point lead now.
The delivery there from Duchenko. It wasn't a particularly easy ball to deal with, but really put it on the money for Zaitsev so he could just step through and hammer it.
Oh, Blachini's so upset. He's so upset that that ball got through the block. Great swing, Melgarejo.
Yes, he's found the really small space between Zaitsev and the antenna. So either Zaitsev's missed the blocking assignment and he should have gone to the antenna, or they've been trying to force Melgarejo to play a ball cross-court and just missing it on that opportunity.
Nice. Duchenko's going to use his middles if they're there, available. Especially when you've got Chinanesi and Zani as your middles.
Even with the help from Petrie, recognising that he has to stay in, Chinanesi in full flight is still too high.
Great position right now for Lube. That was a swing to nothing really for Zaitsev. And that's the position they've got themselves in. They can really go for it from the serving line if their side-out game just keeps holding up. It's up to Milano to force the issue here. And they're not able to do it just yet.
It's a bit of the compounding issue of pressure on serve. If one of your stronger servers is missing, you're not getting really good service pressure, everyone tends to back off a little bit and then the errors creep in, and it's hard to be tough and go strong in those moments.
Well, Nikolov went strong, but also he went long. Well, that's too many, isn't it? 13 errors to 9, even with the fact that Milano have got the jump service going. You still want to be putting pressure on the opposition. That's more like it. Oh, good up. Zaitsev has to scramble back to play defense at 6. And Jan doesn't even get outside the 3-meter line. That's pretty much a standing jump then from him.
It's great delivery from Duchenko. We talk so much about how well he plays. But also Jan to stop early and be able to get that ball at the highest point he could reach before the block is ready.
Nicely done.
So does Milano try and move Porro here in the block?
Oh, so good. Again, we talk about the levels, we talk about the outside hitters, we talk about how good the players are, but now the middle blockers, the ability to pass that short pass well enough so they can come in and have a hit themselves.
It's one of those skills that separates being a good middle with being a really good, consistent professional middle. That you can play well in all facets of the game. They can receive, they can set, they can serve well, they can play defense. It's not just the skill of you block and attack. You have to be a real volleyball player.
Mancini calling the shots. This is one of those matches, this series is just, no matter what people have been doing, those people that are at work, those people maybe perhaps involved in volleyball as well. Everything is stopped to watch this one. I know for a fact that even those people that are doing their inspection visits for the European Championships in Varna have stopped, and they're watching this one. It's captivated everybody. Well played. That is classic loss there, isn't it? Classic, almost, I would say, Argentinian volleyball. But him, you mentioned him along with Soleil. Their ability to come in one way, either jump laterally like that, or open up, or then lean back and turn. The range that he can create to hit the ball is incredible. Well, that's just about staying in play. Brilliant work. Well played, Pesaresi. But it just delays the inevitable. Civitanova now 21-17. Will be feeling really good about this set, although Anzani's just pulled up a little bit.
And sometimes it's the difference in that first contact. So a great chance created by Milano, but not being able to put it in a situation where they can have a counterattack.
Oh, oh my goodness. That is a ridiculously good pass from Pesaresi. And Ishikawa works his magic once again to beat the triple block. But it's too much of this, isn't it? It's in a minute, from Milano's perspective, there's too much of this having to scrap for their points. They've not really got a decent flow and siding out what looks like comfortably.
Yeah, they're not getting beaten a lot on serve, but they're not creating too many great opportunities for Porro to move the ball around. They're really having to play a lot of high ball. And luckily for them, Ishikawa has got it going.
Oh, hasn't he just? He's got that going as well. Ace serve from Ishikawa. And now they are just two behind. Oh my goodness, that is cracking service. Over two players. Nikolov did well to get anything on that.
And some really nasty movement as well. A big move as the receiver for the ball coming left to right. Really hard to track. But this is the benefit of feeding him some balls earlier in the set, where maybe he wasn't scoring in the first set. He didn't look in good condition. And then to give him the balls again early in the second set would get him some rhythm. And all of a sudden, we get back to the end of a set, and maybe it's going to be not as clear-cut as we would have thought earlier.
Well, that's what's happened so far. 2 blocks to 1, 2 aces to 1. Serve errors for Milano, though, is what's been a little bit costly. Although the serve errors, it's also the other errors that go alongside it, whether there have then been any errors in attacking. Well played, good pass. Oh, it's going to stay in. They'll have to have another go here, Lube. Ishikawa's going to keep it in play. Oh, excellent work, Zaitsev. Oh, he's still going. What a touch. Oh, no, referee. Stefano, how could you do that? Somebody had to call it into catch ball. Oh, what a shame. Does it not count as the first touch? No, that's the second touch, doesn't it? So it's a double. Oh, what a shame.
But it's again, Milano scrapping, and they're just finding that little bit more quality and execution, particularly on getting the ball to the net for the attacker to work. And it's a 1-point game. All of a sudden, Civitanova is having to play a lot more volleyball.
Ishikawa once again, third serve for him. They've got they had a chance, but you couldn't have placed that any better, Zaitsev, right in between Porro and Ishikawa.
Everyone, it's actually a pretty good read from the Milano defense. In fact, maybe too good. Both players going for the ball and stopping because they thought the other one would take it.
A little bit more comfortable for Civitanova. They're 3 away from the set. They're 2 ahead of Milano. Oh, what a touch that is, D'Amico. What a touch, Pesaresi. And the tip gets it done. This is incredible volleyball.
Absolutely right. Just sucking up a huge amount of defensive pressure, and then the presence of mind to play into the hole, knowing that the triple block is there. Decheco coming in short for the tip, really leaving only 2 players for the rest of the court.
Oh, yes. Well, when in doubt, just a high ball to Nikolov will do the job.
Well, when the high-level volleyball is so often a game of power, particularly on serve, the ability to be effective on high ball is incredibly valuable, and it's something that Civitanova does quite well. They have the physical ability to do this, and particularly in this second set, and the end of the first, it's been something that Milano has struggled with.
Zaitsev to serve. Good cover. There's a swing chance now for set point. I try to go a little too steep. Good touch that from Patry, but it's a net touch against him. And it's set point Civitanova. You've got to think Zaitsev's going to go for this.
If I was his coach, I would just say, you have the green light.
It's go, go, go for Zaitsev. Oh, he's gone with a little floater. But he's made a brilliant dig. Oh, well up. This is going to be free ball. Cheeky from Decheco. Goes to Cinanesi once again. There might be a chance for Milano to get the side out. And they will. Oh, that's just brilliant. The volleyball is just another level altogether. That was incredible.
And full credit to Piano there. 2 fantastic blocks. Basically one-on-one in an almost perfect situation. With Decheco, that's not easy to do. And he got it twice in the one rally.
Well, those of you supporting Milano are now saying, come on, Patry, a little bit of ooh la la, please. But not before a timeout's called. I was talking that, so those of you that have followed the series, Vital Heinen has been the expert, and he said that the timeouts to take are the ones before the points have been scored, and that's what Blencini's done here. Taking the time before Patry's going back to try and influence the outcome. I guess there's all kinds, so there's all different reasoning, all thoughts behind it. It's like the classic 23-21 timeout.
Yes, it's being aware of the situation as well. If you know that this is one of their strong servers, he can get on a roll, but maybe you take your chances against perhaps Piano's serve. And interestingly, Milano not using a block substitute here. Staying with Porro front row, perhaps was a chance for a Batapor to get in the game.
Would it? Yes, Ibadipor, or even bring Vitelli in to block. They have used, also, they brought in Fusaro at times to block. Well, they just shoved Porro out of the way. It didn't matter. The side out comes, the point comes with it, and the set goes to Lube. Still Blencini saying, let's be calm. It's only 2-0, but it is 2-0. Oh, what a great play that was. Brilliant from Cinanesi.
Yes, even in the small space that they're working with, the reception moving towards position 4, the precision on that set where Cinanesi can still work in the seam between the 2 blockers, forcing a choice from the blocker in position 2, which in this case was Melgarejo.
I think, I think, can I hear music very quietly somewhere? I hope so, because it's 2-0 for Civitanova right now, and we need that music if Milano are going to get back into this. It's must-win set territory for them now. Couldn't be better from Civitanova's perspective to be 2-0 up at home.
Yes, it's a much more comfortable situation than being 1-1. They now get 3 chances to win one set to go to a final. But in Milano's favour, Ishikawa started to get rolling. Their reception is holding up. They got a bit better on execution on high balls, which they've had to be using a lot. So that chance is there. Can they keep scrapping? Can they keep finding ways to stay in points? And can they find some more pressure on their serve? Too many times, Civitanova, with a patched-together reception lineup, is getting the ball in a positive situation for the Checo to work.
In terms of, all right, we saw the serving errors, but opponent errors, which we kind of look at, that says only 5 from Lube. That's pretty good going, really, for a set. Only 5 unforced errors. As an assistant coach, as a coach yourself, Liam, do you have a figure in mind that you have as per set that you say, if we're only making this number of unforced errors, then we got a good chance of winning the sets?
It's relative to scoring. If you can score, then you can live with more errors. If you're having trouble scoring, the errors become much more dangerous, which sounds very obvious, but there's numbers you can work out that will calculate what level of risk you can play with. But the priority is scoring, and it's something Milano hasn't been able to do without the ball in a good situation after positive reception too often. So the challenge is errors will be part of the game, but how aggressive can you be? And at what point does being conservative start to hurt you?
They might have to throw a little bit of caution to the wind here, Milano. 2-0 down. They got to... sorry, go on.
It's throwing caution to the wind is correct. They've got to go full. They've got to really commit to what they're doing and how they want to play. That might be the patience to recycle a ball on a really bad situation and have someone there to cover and get another chance and another chance.
Jan to serve, set 3 underway. That's a little too tight. Patry does well to get something on it. Oh, wonderful. What a way to get yourself out of trouble. What a set from Porro. Because he was completely shut off. He had no... there's no way he could actually see where Losse was, but he knew where he was running into, didn't he? What a brilliant set.
The setters have that little tingling spidey sense sometimes that there's a middle behind them.
Yeah. Probably as that big shadow comes over the time. It's like, oh, right, you must be behind me, then I can see the shadow above me. Yeah, on the floor, is it? Losse with the serve. Milano got that first point. Good up from Ishikawa. Bit of work here for Melgarejo to do. Oh, good touch. Brilliant. The sets from Checo, 2 behind, and then that one little spinning on a sixpence and digging it out to 4.
That is incredible.
That's amazing.
That's a man in control of all of his faculties. But again, the Milano high ball just too far off the net for Melgarejo to really attack. And it took 2 chances, but Civitanova eventually got it.
Nicely done. Captain puts one on the floor.
And that's a great relationship there. The older man in piano making sure that Porro is getting good positive feedback on the court, keeping the attitude of the team in the right place.
Ooh, that's not made it. It's been given us out. Is there a challenge to come? We're going to let it ride. So 3-1 for Milano. And Patry to serve. Fabulous. Middles are getting a right run out in this set.
Yeah, the setters starting to play the game with each other a little bit. Who stays with the first tempo longer? Who starts going to the outsides? When are they saving their big hitters for when they need them?
Ooh, careful. I always worry so much because there's no way DeCecco knows what's the other side of the advertising hoarding when he goes over it.
Absolutely. There's a variety of different systems and what's behind there, and cables and brackets and things, and sometimes people.
There's nothing. Right, Olympic Games, gold medal, match point. You're going to go and chase the ball down. I mean, but player safety. I guess though in these situations you're just going to go for it, aren't you? A bit like you don't give it that thought. You haven't got time to think, oh, I don't know if I should go over that advertising hoarding. Because I want to keep the ball in play.
And often the best situations to just commit. If you go full, you're probably going to clear the stuff that you can't see immediately. It's when you get stuck halfway that bad things are more likely to happen.
That one just a little too far out of Fernandez's reach on that last play. He was playing 6, but not perhaps deep enough. And that's also we're seeing, aren't we, the players at 6, even in this match. Once the blocks go up, the player at 6 is sometimes even off the back of the court, ready for that ball off of the hands.
Absolutely, and particularly even position 5 is now coming back in some teams with a defensive system right back to the corner, leaving big hole in the middle of the court, but trusting that the block will protect that part.
Well watched. That's a great touch from DeCecco. Oh, that's not bad, and it's still in play. No carry called. Let the volleyball do the talking. The players got on with it. It was only Blengini who was getting upset, but he's all right now.
Screaming there for everyone to calm down. It's an interesting tactic, but
well, Anzani's got to be careful. He's not allowed to stand there. He stood with his coach. Getting all excited. They're one behind. Milano looking to side out to go 2 in front. Lovely touch. Well, that couldn't have fallen any kinder, could it, for Zaitsev? But the block does its job. Doesn't let him through. Milano make their side out.
And Shininyezi, a fantastic dig on his French national team teammate down the line. Ishikawa, and a well-formed block in transition.
I just love that. Zaitsev says, like, well, anyone going to play D? Oh, brilliant. Ooh, is that in? Is it in? No, it's not made it.
That was Civitanova and DeCecco in particular working at the absolute limits of their space that they can use in the court.
Well played.
Positive signs for Milano here. The serve is coming along. Maybe not super effective, but they're finding ways to make Civitanova again play some longer rallies. Ishikawa's looking like he's being a bit more aggressive. Hope the commentator's curse doesn't happen now.
Well, he was certainly aggressive. The net definitely felt it.
And you can see the conflict for Blengini. He wants everyone to be calm, but he wants this so much.
Eight points so far then for Jan. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that's because DeCecco's been spreading the ball around really well. Everyone's been in on the act. Everyone's had swings. It's definitely a case of two teams that are not reliant on one player alone to get them their points.
Absolutely. And it's been, a bit here and a bit there, the balance of the offense for Civitanova. And Milano's trying the same, but no one's really been able to find a way to consistently score.
Oh, well played. 3 blockers, no trouble at all. Zaitsev passes them with ease.
So the execution by Decheko there to let Zaitsev have a little bit more time to see what's in front of him, and he can step onto the ball, and that allows him to hit that ankle.
No way through. Cinanese denies Piano. Cinanese now, he's up top scorer with Nikolov, 11 points.
You can see there Nikolov staying close. So they've obviously prepared that in that location. Porro is probably going to want to go to Cinanese. Sorry, not to Cinanese.
He would if he was on his team. That's for sure.
It'd be a great choice.
Yeah. Patry it is with the serve. Porro out of the play. Patry not. That's a great swing from him, and it's a 2-point advantage. Milano are hanging on to it.
Interestingly, not taking the opportunity to serve at Zaitsev, wanting to take the pipe out. So there's only 3 options front row. So let's see where Patry goes with his serve now. Does he stay with Yant, or does he try and take on Ivan Zaitsev?
Oh, what a great serve that is. Just take on Balasso.
And it's the first real series we've seen from him in this game where he's had a bit more venom to what he's going for from the service line.
Balasso will be upset because he's taken a big step to his left. If he'd have stayed where he was, it'd been all right. The swerve, though, the amount of movement that's being generated on these jump serves, either left to right, right to left, depending on who's serving. Phenomenal.
It just adds that extra layer of complexity in reception beyond power and location. The movement where you basically have to pick it up before the ball's crossed the net makes it incredibly difficult, and it is also credit to the receivers who handle these balls so well so often. So some signs of life for Milano. Service is picking up. Patry getting a little run here. Ishikawa's finding some rhythm in attack. Probably needs a patch where he demands a series of balls to really put his imprint on the game.
Good touch. Ooh, which way is this going to go? It's been given as in. They might challenge this. Nicely done.
So the block movement there by Milano. Obviously, they know the play there with Zaitsev is not likely, but they don't get a really aggressive move to get Mejarejo into help, and it's still one-on-one for Nikolov against Porro. I don't like Milano's odds in that situation.
Looking good so far for Milano in this set.
Sogni palloni. Allianz Milano.
Great play again. He gets that quick ball, a zippy ball out wide, and he'll just use that ball speed to do what he wants with it.
Yeah, he really has the advantage over the block. And as you said, he doesn't need to hit it super hard because he has the advantage where the block is not fully formed and pressing over the net. And he's a guy who has such good technical ability and control of the ball that he's got 4 or 5 solutions for that situation.
That's not landed in, has it? Yes, it has landed in. Of course it has. Yant finds the line. Civitanova need to find a few points. Right now, Lube just piling everything over the top of Porro. And their block has just come good as well. And Zani getting the fans on side. Not that he needs to. They're back to within 2.
And what you mentioned there with everything over Porro, this makes this next side-out series really critical for Milano to stay in front. Ishikawa again, just toying with the block. And now Porro closer to being out of the front row. Now he gets to serve. And it's a much better situation for the Milano block and defense.
Can they push on and take the set? No. Let's have a look, see which rotation we're going to get. We're going to get El Clasico. No, we're not. We're getting the El Milano. Oh, there was nowhere to go that time, though. Zaitsev said, "You've done that too many times. You're not getting the wipe off again."
And his ability to have that little bit of extra time because Ishikawa's staying in to take the reception. Zaitsev can move a little bit earlier and can be in a stronger position to block.
That's well played. Makes up for it.
It looks like a simple point, but that is an incredibly difficult shot. We'll see here on the replay, he's jumping backwards out of the court and still managed to find a way past the block.
Top scorer in the match so far is Ishikawa with those 14 points. Well played, Zaitsev. He's third on the scoring charts. He goes up to 12. And Gini's just loving it, isn't he? Every point he's celebrating.
It really has been a battle between these two teams to maintain control and aggression on their serves. It's such an important part of the Civitanova game that they can block and play against high balls and then themselves play high balls. Neither team really managing to create a lot of pressure from the service line.
Oh, goodness, that was just... He almost hit that, and so I'm not going to look to hit because in case he gets blocked. He hit it so hard, but he knew exactly where he was going. Oh, he's gone outside the block, hasn't he? No chance at all for Ishikawa. That was brilliant.
And that is a sign that Zaitsev is in much better physical shape than he was this time last year.
That's what played Patry. He had to make an adjustment.
One of Patry's real skills as an opposite is he has what we call a big hitting window. The ball, he can deal with a lot of balls from the setter or from a non-setter that aren't super precise. Maybe because he plays a slower ball, but he can fix a lot of things.
Again, Zaitsev is unstoppable at the moment.
We touched on it at the start of the game. He's a player with so much big game experience. He's definitely not scared out there. And the Checo knows when he's got someone running hot.
Can he continue that form here, Zaitsev, from the serving line? Good side out by Milano.
Melgarejo's been dealing with a lot of imperfect balls. This is one of the first ones he's got a really good look that he can step on it and be aggressive, and finally turns it into a point.
Civitanova keep getting their side outs going. Now Nikolov, this is the thing, they're going to run of players coming back to the serving line now who can all cause problems.
And also for Milano, they're really close to having Porro back front row, which poses a difficult blocking situation for them.
I didn't want to say anything because it's just like, I'm not going to say, oh, tough one for Ishikawa, oh, it's going to be difficult, because he just seems to score, doesn't he?
He certainly does, and the difference in the delivery of the high balls from earlier in the game where he can have the ball and the block in front of him. And it looks like a double sub.
Yep.
From Milano.
Indeed, so Vitelli's gone on to serve as a serving sub, and Fasaro's come in as a blocking sub for Porro. So, as you rightly said, Liam, worried about Porro being in the front row. They're taking action very early here if they can, and try and get something going, get a few points. Oh, that doesn't help. So Fasaro got a good look through the net at the opposition. Now he's coming back off again. So to Vitelli. Garcia's coming on to serve. Sottile, Daniele Sottile, 43 years of age, backup setter for Civitanova. Not been on court at all in this playoff series. Such an experienced player, mind. Another Olympic silver medalist from 2016. Garcia, a player we may well see at the Olympics in Paris. He's eligible to play for the USA on the 11th of March 2024, having switched from Puerto Rico.
That definitely poses an interesting challenge for the USA coaching staff. They've struggled with an opposite. Mr. Anderson, as you love to call him, is probably their best option, but he can also be so important for them as a receiver, particularly with the loss of Taylor Sander. So maybe this is another little wrinkle the USA can add, but we have a more important matter to deal with the game at hand.
We certainly do. A timeout called by Milano here. They've got work to do. They are in a good spot, that's for sure. They just need to carry on doing it. 21-19.
And I don't know if it was Roberto Piazza being demonstrative in that timeout or whether he was talking about pulling hands on a high ball block. We may find out in the next few points.
Well played, Nikolov. There wasn't a great deal he could do with that.
It's been pretty consistent from Milano with Zaitsev receiving or with Zaitsev back row hitting from position 1. They've been really aggressive towards position 4.
Oh, goodness
Ishikawa.
me. Again, Ishikawa. You'd think he had a warm-up hit. He's got 2 blockers. He looks like, again, he's jumping backwards slightly for this one. Oh, just brilliant. Oh, Nikolov's upset. Don't be. That was a great swing.
Just sorry to finish my point that even with Nikolov swinging from position 1, they've been really aggressive moving towards the attack from 4. The silver lining for Milano, though, with all of these service errors, they managed to get through a Poro front court rotation without too much damage.
They still have a 1-point lead. Timeout called. Jan will be going back to serve when play resumes. Big moment this. A moment really for steady heads to stay focused and calm, isn't it?
Piazza, they're working all the emotional range, having control, talking about clear, precise details, and then saying, we've got to go right now. This series is coming down to the next couple of points. So we'll probably see Jant serve here, then probably D'Amico come in to receive for him afterwards.
Dealt with by Ishikawa. Oh, the speed of that ball. Magnificent. For those of you that are watching and you only ever have gone to a match and you've watched side on, if you get the chance, watch at least a set from the end and you get to see the game in a whole different light.
It also highlights the angle that Melhorejo took to the ball there. He didn't give the blocker a chance to be in front of him. But Poro's delivery there, absolutely spot on. So Clifton Lawrence comes into the game.
Another youngster, he's just 20 years of age, Clifton Lawrence, 1.96 m. He's come straight from NCAA volleyball, playing at Long Beach.
Can they get a break point now on Patrice's serve?
Looks a bit tight.
Sorry, Losser.
Oh, well, they won't. What a great set from DiCecco, yet again.
And a huge side out coming up here for Milano. We'll see the service sub from Civitanova.
Bottolo will come in, yep. Well, he's going to jump serve. It's a relatively easy rotation, isn't it, for Milano? They're rotation 5. So it's easy for Poro to be in a good spot. If the ball's good, he's going to have all his options, that's for sure.
Does Bottolo take the chance on a short serve here?
No, he doesn't. He's made it really difficult. It's going to be free ball. This to level up the set. What a touch from Piano. Oh, Pesaresi was covering deep just as well. And the point goes the way of Milano. What a save. And they've got set point.
A fantastic job by Milano there to keep Melhorejo in particular in really good attacking opportunities, fighting and fighting and fighting and getting that ball in the net.
There was a moment, but such an important touch through the middle by Piano to slow it down and give them the chance to get that side out. Now Patry, set point.
For a front row, do they send him over to block against Zaitsev? No.
Oh, he just makes a brilliant dig. But it's still free ball coming for Lube. Nikolov puts it away. Set point saved. No chance that was going to be anything other than a point for Lube when Nikolov was going against Porro like that. I've seen Zaitsev, I was going to say, because I've seen him for Italy, serve, match point down, and come back and win it for Italy. He's only set point down here, and he can't even get it in, and the set will go the way of Milano. Game still very much on here. Brilliant.
Zaitsev opting for the short toss hybrid serve, not what he's known for. And we have a game on. Milano lives to breathe for a little bit longer. Woo!
Indeed. Well, this is just what you want as a neutral. For those of you that are supporting Lube, you're like, oh, come on, Paul. But and those of you supporting Milano, exactly the same. Yes, we're back in it. And all of us neutrals, just brilliant to watch another set of volleyball of this extraordinary playoff series. Here are the stats from that last set. We've got 1 extra attack for Lube, 2 extra blocks, but they made 4 extra errors.
And I think part of this is also coming from the Milano service. They're forcing Lube to play more. They're not giving up the easy ball. They're giving them a little bit more pressure, a few less errors on serve. So Civitanova needing to find more solutions than just picking the ball up from the baseline after a service error from Milan.
When you look back at that last set, it's difficult at times to put your finger on what is it that Milano did. One thing we saw, though, they had more in-system-ish options, didn't they, really?
Yeah, in system or better quality setting from out of system. So they,
I see. You see, you've explained it properly. I just went in-system-ish. Yeah.
it's in system-ish sometimes. Yeah. But they managed to get a lot more of the balls they were leaving at 2 meters earlier. They're getting them on the tape and forcing the Lube block and defense to really commit. And then they're in a better situation should they recycle, or they can play more aggressively with their own attack. So I think this was a part of it. Ishikawa in particular got going. Mejorejo got some good ball there at the end. And Petri a little bit more going from the service line. And that's just enough signs of life. And more importantly, not losing. They didn't lose. They're still alive. They can keep going. Their confidence will be there.
Top scorer so far with 16 points. He's got 14 spikes, a block, and an ace as Ishikawa. Right behind him, Nikolov on 15 points with 13 attacks, 1 block, 1 ace. And then it's Zaitsev, 13 points, 11 attacks, 1 block, 1 ace.
And as is so often the case at this point in the series, Game 5, it's not about playing the most beautiful volleyball. It's about playing what will win.
Set 4 underway. Patry with the serve. Lube up 2 sets to 1. And they'll take the first point. Excellent from Patry. He's pretty much hitting this almost on the net, isn't he? It's such a good hit.
Yeah, you can see where he lands there. He's almost hitting it as a front row ball. And that just provides that little bit more space for the other attackers now.
Good play from Nikolov. Smart hit from him. Oh, is that in? No. They might challenge it though. I was going to say I thought it was a really good set again from Porro because he had. You think there might be touches?
It looked like that's what Roberto Piazza was signalling for.
Well, we'll soon see.
L'ortaggio della richiesta di Roberto Piazza sull'attacco di Jean-Patrick.
Did Patry catch some fingers?
It gives us a great moment to see the just missing them, but to see the emotion, the tension, the personalities on display from both coaches, how they are managing this internally, how must they be feeling inside.
It's an easy one for Zaitsev. And an even easier one for Jan. 4-1 Civitanova. Issues for Milano already in this set. Just tipped it too far, didn't he, Ishikawa?
Yeah, he really wanted that ball to come to him a little bit faster, I think. Porro gets the location right, but the speed, Ishikawa was already on to try and attack that ball. Good time for Roberto Piazza to take a second, get everyone refocused. Let's think about how we want to play our style of volleyball. As you can see, they're back on court already. It was not a timeout for a lot of technical information. Just all right, let's calm down. Go again.
It's like getting the ice on the back of the neck. I could never do that. Honestly, it's just like, I'd be like, oh, get off, it's too cold.
He's definitely a player who likes to take every opportunity to make sure he's fit and firing when he comes back onto the court during timeouts, whether it's food or ice. He's a man who looks after all those details.
This is a detail that has to be looked after by Milano now. This side out from Nikolov to get back to 2-4. Oh, it's just a gift. After that little practice throw as well, he got it completely wrong. It's like having a practice swing at golf. It's great. And then the ball's in front of you. It's another thing altogether.
I've got to stop taking practice swings, it seems.
Piano then with the serve. Oh, set-tastic from DiCecco. But the block holds firm and Porro gets the better of Jan.
You haven't had too many opportunities to say that sentence tonight.
I think I said it once. That's it. That's the only one. Yeah,
that's the one. But also, this is not the situation that Civitanova wants. They're happier playing high balls. Jan obviously not the player who's used to recycling in that opportunity.
So close and yet so far. Side out for Civitanova.
Andiamo in difesa, ragazzi. Andiamo a muro, forza.
Good touch. Oh, he's got him again! Porro once again gets Jan. Oh my goodness! Or was it lost? I think that's definitely Porro, right?
Absolutely, no doubt in that one whatsoever. We won't need to look at the replay to confirm this one.
Yeah, he definitely got a
maybe a little bit lost there, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a tad. It all counts. 4-5. Chance for Nikolov, and he makes sure of it. That's a huge hit from Nikolov.
And a huge smile from Blengini in response. This is the flexibility of what they're doing. To be able to have Nikolov hit from the right side and Zaitsev hit the pipe, it gives them flexibility to have two different hitters, two different looks. The block can't adjust so easily.
Good touch. Is that in? What's the ref say?
Whatever happens, there'll be a challenge coming, I'm pretty sure.
So it's been given as out. Oh, there could be an issue, because if they're asking for a touch in defense, they're not going to be able to look at it, which would suggest is what they're thinking about. Otherwise, they could challenge for in, out, or block touch. It's interesting that you're saying about the fact that they've got the Nikolov option to run on the right side. It's very similar to what Trentino have been doing this season and last season. And funnily enough, they're in the semi-finals as well.
Yeah, it's a situation in world volleyball at the moment where the number of pure opposites is becoming smaller and smaller. There's the guys like Zaitsev and Namir are in the minority now, and teams are opting to play with a third receiver or an opposite hybrid receiver role to provide a bit more cover and reception, but also some more variety in what they can do, particularly with back row attack.
Well played, Balasso. Well played, Ishikawa. And the block comes good. 8-5. They're getting closer. Oh, they're getting a little bit further away from Milano, more importantly. That's a classic, isn't it? Kind of drifting that way, but then hitting back where you've just come from instead of taking on that angle you're going at and going off that fringe of that block.
Absolutely. It's the explainable error to get blocked by the middle, but if you miss the third blocker and hit it straight out, everyone looks at you.
What a serve from Yant! 9-5. Manzani again getting the fans to shout and cheer. He doesn't need to, they're doing plenty of that. Bit of calming down to be done by Roberto Piazza here. Timeout by Milano.
And it seemed like they were pretty well prepared on that reception. The receivers had moved left, but just the seam opening up a little bit too much, and the change in pace and the serve dropping a little bit shorter on Yuki Ishikawa. So again, setting up here, it looks like they're trying to protect the left-hand side of the court most, force the tough serve from Yant to go to position one.
Ace again! Yant yet again! That time a little bit more in terms of there was no chance of getting to it. That one, as I like to say, I think that was definitely into the hallway of hesitation. Oh, he's just got Pesaresi all ends up, hasn't he? That was no doubt it was Pesaresi's ball.
Yeah, it's in his zone, but because they're looking to play to their left, so as soon as that ball crosses over to his right, he's in, as you said, uncertain decisions about whether Ishikawa can play it.
They get the side out. Losser does well, but they've got a little bit of a mountain to be climbing here.
Yeah, 4 points. There's still a bit of time to go, but I haven't seen too many signs from Milano that they're going to be able to be effective on the breakpoint part, so when they are serving the ball. But now would be the time. We still have Porro back row. Lucer, if he can find some little seam, some little space in the court to put some pressure on the Civitanova reception.
A serve from Loser, brilliant!
That's the seam. Not a lot of finesse about it, just banging that one in there.
This one into the corridor of uncertainty. What a great serve. 3 behind. Good leave. Good place to go, trying to take Nikolov away from the rest of the passing unit.
It had some effect earlier when the rotations were matched up differently. He was serving against Zaitsev, receiving in position 5.
Well played by Melgarejo.
Yeah, this is what he's capable of when he gets good ball. He's just high and physical, and he can do a lot. But from off the net, he's not the type of player who can manage the high ball so well.
You have to be in awe of DeCecco and Porro, Ginelli, Spertoli, all of the top setters who can do what they do and put that ball in so quickly to the middle when they're off the net like that. The speed of the set is phenomenal.
And the delay in how he released the ball. He showed like he was going to try and jack a high ball out to position 4, but then the late movement to flick it on.
For your, in your humble opinion, who for you's one of the best setters in the world right now?
Oh, this is a difficult question.
Sorry.
Gianelli's best.
Yep.
Is still the best, but he's not playing his best at the moment. DeCecco has been fantastic. You still have to include guys like Micah Christensen.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a handful that on anyone's day, but I think at the moment, if we're just comparing best levels, Simone Gianelli is the best in the world.
Yeah. Bruno again, another contender, isn't he?
He doesn't go away, does he?
No. Brizard with Piacenza, what he's been doing with them.
He's made some big steps in the last 2 or 3 seasons in his ability to manage the big situations, because he contributes in so many ways as a blocker and a server.
Nikolov not quite contributing with his serve. I always love watching Maroof play, I have to say. Setters are just an absolute magician, a wizard with the ball.
And a conductor of the offense. He like a conductor of the orchestra. He was pulling all the strings all the time.
And a really good wind-up merchant as well of the other team. Oh,
As
well
I
done.
said, pulling all the strings all the time.
Yeah. You said it far more diplomatically than I did. First time anyone's gone over on the 2 ball. Oh, 6 and 5. We're too far into court. Ishikawa takes full advantage of it.
Yeah, again, he's forcing their defense into difficult situations with what he can do with his hand control, short, tip roll, push plays. They can't be too deep because he'll exploit them as he had earlier. And this time he goes the other option off the top for an easy one.
Good serve that from Porro. Chance here. Well, this time Zaitsev equal to the swing from Ishikawa. And Yant frustrates Patry and Milano with an excellent ball into the block and out of play. Maybe now this is the moment where Civitanova start to feel really good about things without getting too, I was going to say, too complacent. Good touch, Balasso, he's certainly not complacent. They are definitely confident. Oh, what a touch that is! And then Losser puts Anzani on his backside.
Well, it goes to a point on the scoreboard, but luckily there's no style judges in volleyball.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been very high marks for Anzani.
And even with Milano, the confusion between who's taking this first ball. So it's one of those things where you want a confident decision. Everyone knows what the next step is. So that point was bad for Civitanova, good for Milano, and ugly from everyone.
Yes! Right, we're done. We're done. That's it. Best line ever. Ishikawa. Well played, Zaitsev. Oh, he's getting stuck in, isn't he? They're sensing it.
And you can feel the rhythm of the game has changed a little bit. Milano's just trying to stay alive. Not scrapping as they were before, but really trying to find some simple solutions. But for Civitanova, they can play the high ball game all day. This is what they're built for.
Good set from Porro. Good up, but Checo. Oh, that was nice. It fell into the bottom of the net and came up, but Milano make the block. It's still anyone's, this set. I know they're 3 up, but the way that this series has gone, no one's taking anything for granted. That's a great pick out of the net, but what a block from Losser.
So it feels like Milano is not quite in the game, but they're only 3 points back.
They could be 2 points back here. They are 2 points back.
And this is what happens in these deciding games. Teams have spent so much energy, so much emotion to get to these points that you might hit a little flat spot, the game slows down, and then the nerves start to creep in. The question starts to get asked, are we really ready to win this one?
Oh, lucky. That Nikolov's need that back over. Good touch to Checo. And that time he's bounced it. What a hit that is.
That is phenomenal from the young man. As he shows.
Yes. Oh no, Piano took his hands out of the way.
We saw Piazza talking about that a little while ago. Maybe not the moment for Piano to pull the block.
Well, that's the way to make up for it. Straight back through the middle. Milano have the point. Still 2 back. They could get back to within 1 or 2. There's still, it's all to play for. Patry with the serve. It'll be Hernandez after him. So a couple of jump servers to come. Balasso deals with it. Oh, what a shame. Hernandez couldn't get round Piano. Good swing, really good swing from Zaitsev.
As you can see here, he has a fair bit of space on the line, but the delivery of the ball with the tempo, that the focus for Milano is to close that block, but the speed getting the ball to the edge was the advantage of Zaitsev.
Breakpoint chance, and Zaitsev is not gonna miss it. 19-15.
And another high ball from Milano left at 3 meters off the net. even further, and just having to save. Too good a situation. The Checo picks the most available option.
Well played, Melhorejo. Porro to the bench for the moment. Vitelli.
Really rolling the dice on this service rotation.
Oh, it's worked. They've got a point. 2 back again. This is edge of your seat stuff. It really is. What a block. Great hang time, Ishikawa.
Absolutely. This is, like I said before, it's not about playing the beautiful game. It's about playing the winning game.
Still, the advantage is with Civitanova. The team, well, they are. Well, I wouldn't say they're not the defending champions till they get into the final to defend it. But they're certainly a team that are looking to get into the final, looking to win the title again. They won it last year. Really good, decent season. 21-22, they were 5th in the Champions League, 2nd in the Club World Championships, 5th in the Italian Cup, 3rd in the Italian Super Cup, 1st in the Italian League.
And it's so difficult to be consistently at the top of the Italian League. There's so much quality. There's a big group of teams who can all beat each other on any day. As we saw, Perugia steamrolled everyone during the season, but they couldn't get past Milano in a quarter-final.
A big roar from the fans. Next back to serve will be Piano for Milano, so a float serve. Nikolov looking to try and do some damage here with his jump serve.
I think if you're Milano, you might have to use the service substitute for Piano.
Nikolov then. Oh, he wasn't far away. You said about how difficult it is to win this Italian league, and it just shows the greatness of Civitanova in that respect, having won it in the 18-19 season. It was cancelled in the 1920 season. They won it again 2021 and 21-22, so quite an extraordinary record. Fusaro is then in to serve for Piano. But the job is done for Jan. He gets the side out. They're getting closer. They're within 4 points of a place in the final.
Now the return service substitution coming from Civitanova. Gabby Garcia coming in.
Nico really egging the team on. Well, he went for it. Of course he's going to go for it. Nothing to lose, really. He comes on, says a few encouraging words, and then he'll be replaced by Balasso. Still points to play with. Still opportunities here for Milano, but they've got to take them. They've got to force the issue. Oh, they've done it! Ace serve, Porro. They're back to within 1.
So Milano keep asking the question. If they can keep this type of service pressure off, they've been able to get break points in the last couple of rotations.
He's got a real whip, hasn't he, as he finishes that action as Porro.
Yeah, it's a nice compact swing. So now do we go to a tactical serve try and put the ball in front of Allianz and Zaitsev, so they're trying to block up what their options are in front of the setter, and that ball has to go back to, in this case, Nikolov. Or do we go with straight power and then start reading the situation? So an interesting moment to see what Piazza wants to do out of this timeout.
And then they've then got to face their worst rotation once this run comes to an end. So very, very interesting few points to come here. Well, he's gone for it, and it's free ball. Ishikawa. That ball has hit the floor before he's gone under the net. We are all tied up at 21 all. Are we going to go to 5? Are we going to go to 5? Oh my goodness. What a hit.
Yes, Ishikawa didn't start out in his best form, but he certainly brought it when the team needed it.
That's a good run from Porro. This is the critical moment now, you feel, for Milano. Getting off of this rotation straight away.
Absolutely.
It's a good ball in. And Losser makes sure of it. That is in, right in the corner. Excellent block, completely split. Lovely ball from Balasso. And it's about that ball, isn't it? That ball in, magnificent.
It is. It gives the Checo so many choices. You can see here his hand and arm position. He's showing as much as he can to Losser. I'm going to set first step. I'm going to set the middle. I'm going to set the middle. And then without changing his position much, he just pops over the top. One-on-one for Zaitsev. Easy point.
Yant, what can he do? It's a really good pass from Pesaresi. And side out is achieved. But it's looking great here for Civitanova. They are now on the verge of a match point. Just drifted straight past Anzani as if he wasn't there, Losser. Really good work. It's Losser who will serve.
And with the reception substitute in for Civitanova. So Nikolov should be the target here.
He is the target. Good save, D'Amico. Free ball though for Milano. A chance for them to have set point. Oh no! Oh my goodness! Of all the places probably not to have gone, it was to the middle. What a let-off for Civitanova.
The replay might show that Jean-Patry had a really good matchup happening with his block, and Porro finding somewhere between the wrist and elbow of Piano.
Oh my goodness. Match point then for Civitanova. Anzani with the serve. Well played, Ishikawa. 24-24. First match point saved. They had a chance. Oh goodness me. A swing to bring up a set point. But well played, Ishikawa, to get that one. Match point number 2 for Civitanova. They really are on the ropes here now, Milano. And Bottolo's going to come on and serve for Zaitsev.
To be fair, Zaitsev hasn't been his usual self on serve. He's been using the hybrid float without a lot of success. And the spin hasn't really been there for him lately.
Yes, Zaitsev, what have you done for your team lately? Not much from serving. What can Bottolo do? A chance to wrap it all up. That's not going to happen. 25 all. Well, this is nerve-wracking, no matter who you're supporting here.
So still the two liberos on the court for Civitanova.
Nikolov, magnificent. Match point number 3.
Ishikawa switching the block with Poro, but no opportunity to stop that swing from Nikolov.
As Jan's saying, got you, I've got you, you go for it. You can do it. Oh, it's close. Is it in? Have they done it? We're not sure. They think it's in. It could be the ace that's done it. We're going to have a little video check, I think, and quite rightly. But that looks like it could be in. It could be all over. It could be Civitanova into the final. It is all over. It is in. They have done it. What a series. What a match. What a result for Lube.
And heartbreak for Milano. Maybe they just ran out of gas a little bit after a huge series against Perugia. But this is another feather in the cap of Glengini and Civitanova. Their chance to defend as champions. Milano will probably rue a couple of their missed chances tonight.